Hello and welcome back to Custo Central. We have some ForgeWorld leaks. These aren't official. We're just, this is a bit of data scraping from various people on the internet. I've tried to make sure that everything on it is correct and complete. There could be some stuff that's missing. If so, um, sorry. I guess I try and keep the info kind of accurate on the channel, but we didn't get our ForgeWorld today from community channel, so I think people have enough appetite to kind of have a look at what looks to be correct. So just have a quick look at this as we go through. So first of all, we've got the Galatus dreads. It's the range on the gun seems worse than I remember in ninth. It's okay. The Infernus Accelerator ignores cover and is torrent. So again, it's whatever. This is what we take this for to do the slaps. I think the strength could have been higher, the AP could have been higher, the damages seems okay. We get this, we roll in combat +2 if we made a charge, get some mortal wounds. It's like a bit of a nice bonus. Actually, maybe the strength is okay because we get lance on this. So obviously, I think it's going to be very point dependent. Does this fulfill a function that the rest of our army doesn't do? I suppose yes, because we can melee stuff that's really maybe got damage reduction. It's high toughness. Like I'm pretty sure this will slap a knight if we roll decently. But I'm not super excited about this. I think this is okay. All the little guns in it, yeah, I think it's okay. Right now we get to the dick bikes, the Devastator. Let's have a look. See, I think this only being one shot really hurts. And probably all the guns are going to be the same price, so this is not a thing, right? Same with the Lestrum bolt cannon. I'm assuming everything is going to be the same price because there's no point paying for war gear now, so the unit will be costed as if we have the last pulsar. Last pulsar gets twin linked, which is nice, but it's only 2 shots. Strength 9 doesn't fulfill like an anti-tank role really. It's like very light vehicle anti-elite. It's not even strength 10 for a breakpoint, so and the AP is not that good. The fact that it's twin linked is whatever. Um, you get to move once, so I mean probably you're going to use it as fire and fade. I think if this wasn't once per battle, it'd be more interesting. But because it is once, and given the price of the normal bikes that we've seen, I reckon this is going to be 100 plus. So it's probably not that good in my opinion. So let's have a look at Venatori, the Kinetic Destroyer. Yeah, this is not good, right? Sustained 1 is nice, pistol is nice, so you can shoot in combat, but like this range is pathetic. AP 1, not good enough in 10th in my opinion. Damage 1, yeah, this just isn't that good. For the buckler, you get 4 wounds. This lets you do a bit of melee. The melee is respectable. 5 is okay. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's kind of in the middle of, what is this trying to be? It's like a fast worse Guardian. It's maybe a bit tanky. I don't know. I suppose if it's, what would this have to be? If this was in the region of 50 points, maybe this is reasonable. It's also going to matter massively on who can join. What's the captain that can join? Is it going to be the bike captain or is it going to be the regular shield captain? Because obviously I'm expecting these guys will have fly 12. Yep. So the Lancers, I think, as if we do take them, is probably more interesting. The shooting profile looks to be the same as the spears. The melee profile seems pretty good. Seems better than the spears because they get lance. So we can rapid ingress for free. I don't think I would want to rapid ingress this unit. But maybe this will help if you if you don't have that much deployment space, I think, because you can start with them off the board. It gives you more deployment space for the rest of your army because it's less points available on the board. You drop them in somewhere safe, and it's kind of like a free deep strike, I guess. And I guess it's nice that you'd be able to do this with another unit that wants a rapid ingress. So not, I think yeah, this is a bit generic, but I think it's going to depend on points what we want to do with the Venatari. But the profiles actually look nice. This is just spear dudes that fly, right? But probably these guys won't have a 2-up, 4-up. They'll probably have like a 3-up, 4-up, which is going to hurt a lot. Twin Erectus Blaze Cannon. What is this going to be? This is the Palace gun. And the Palace, in the shooting phase, when it hits a target that's under half strength, you add +1 to the wound roll. It's situational, but it's very, very powerful, especially when you get 8 shots. This is supposed to be twin linked and dev wounds. If the Palace remains, 95, 100 points, and it has fly, I think this is very good supporting fire. It is only AP1, but we get to reroll wounds, and we get devastating wounds on it. I think it's pretty good. Now it looks like we get to the Telemon Storm Cannon. I'm not seeing a beam profile on this. This is a lot of shots, and it has dev wounds. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. The issue I have with it is small arms fire is not something that we are massively struggling with, I think. If you have Wardens, you have Guardians, you have the Alaris, you've got loads of little shots. Obviously, these are a little bit stronger because they're strength 6, and they're only damage when you have more volume slightly, but I have to query, what do we want to do this into? If it's like, if GSC become super popular, or orcs or like Nids start taking loads of the little guys instead of lots of the big guys, maybe this could be a thing. But I think this is a good gun in an index that might not need it that much, as far as I see it. Elastus, I'm not sure. We probably have a universal special rule for this, but if there is, I missed it, so apologies for that. So actually, let's have a quick look to see if we can find this. No, we can't find this. So 4 shots per gun, it's fine. AP1 really hurts though. Damage 3 is nice, but AP1 really hurts. So as I keep saying in 10th, AP is king. So the fact that you've got high damage but low AP is not that great because loads of things are going to get cover. And the things that have high wounds, they don't tend to have bad saves, if that makes sense. So it becomes kind of unreliable. Spicatus Bolt Launcher doesn't look like we can shoot twice. If we stand still, maybe we do, we just haven't seen the rule. AP0, it's nice to have lots of little shots, but whatever. The Plasma Projector from the Fists, this looks okay. Twin Linked is nice because we get to reroll the wounds. This is okay. The Armored Feet, this is hilarious. If you don't take any fists, then you get to tickle them with your feet. And the Castus, this is a bit sad for me because of strength. I was hoping for strength like 16 or something. Maybe that was a bit greedy because it seems like the high strength melee weapons from previous edition have gone down in strength. AP2, not great. Damage 3. Yeah, it's not. The Telemon's not that exciting. From memory, I think the Telemon also is only T10 as well, so it's not that tough. It does have -1 damage, but none of the loadouts on the Telemon excite me that much, unless there's some additional special rules that we have missed. Yeah, does that sound about right? Yeah. I just don't think this is spectacular enough. Caladius. So Caladius, I think, is going to be 200 points, and T10, 14 wounds, 2 up, 5 up. The Twin Arachnus Heavy Blaze Cannon. This is exciting, right? And this fulfills an actual role that the army was missing, which was long-range anti-tank fire. 4 shots, 48-inch range, which is enough for like 90% of scenarios that you'll need. Like I think that it only really comes up if you're at like diagonal deployments and it's backline versus backline. Maybe you can't reach some stuff at 48 inches. Strength 12 is good enough considering it's twin linked. AP3 is good enough. The damage is nice. D6 plus 2. So this definitely fulfills like a function in your list that you will want. I think if you want to play pure Custodes, you can easily take 2 of these, maybe 3. But I think one is like if you have one from previous editions, just take it and don't even think about it. 2 is probably good for most people. You might have to get a new turret or just agree with your opponent that your Elastus accelerated cannon is actually a heavy blaze cannon, but can't imagine most people having an issue with that. This is 4 shots, but it's rapid fire twin linked. I mean, this used to be 8 shots, so this is, I don't know how to feel about this. I think this isn't as good as the heavy blaze because again, we need something that can take down tanks, can take down monsters, and has really high damage. It is a nice gun, but because this exists, this just is less good. We get lethal hits versus no, have I got this wrong? Yes, we get lethal hits versus non-monster vehicles with this gun, and we get lethal hits with the heavy blaze with this gun, which makes makes this outstanding. Right, that's all I'm really going to say. This is an outstanding gun. This is a good gun. This gun is way better and fulfills way more of a role within our list that we need. The bolt cannons are like they're just nice to have. Like to be honest, if the platform didn't have this gun, we would be fine because this is good enough. This is outstanding. Let's have a look. Armored hull. Yeah, no one cares about that. So Spiculus, I think this is on the Orion. I'm surprised this doesn't have blast, but anyway, it's quite a lot of shots. It's okay. It's only AP1. Again, I have a really strong bias against stuff that's AP1 or AP0 in 10th. Having lots of little shots is nice. You tend to just get them by accident in your list, and that tends to be enough for the kind of chaff clearing shots that you need. So this is not anything to write home about. The Erectus Heavy Blaze Cannon, this is on the Ares. I am trying really hard to get secondary confirmation because from memory, the Ares has a Magma Blaze, which is a sick gun. It's now 3 shots instead of D3, which is massive. But it used to have 2 of these, and they used to be single shot from memory. And if we have 2 of these that have 4 shots each, that is a very significant increase in shooting output from the Ares. And if this is correct, I'd actually be tempted to bring an Ares again, and I'd probably deep strike it in. Just so if it went first, it'd be really good, but if we went second, it'd be really bad because it probably just dies. So deep striking it would guarantee that you get your shots off, and this is a lot of damage, right? This is 8 shots with the heavy blaze because you get 2 of these, and 1 with the magna blaze. So this is a very respectable profile. People were saying it's twin linked. If it is twin linked, this is even stronger. This is absurdly strong. The magna blaze, strength 18, really good. -4, really good. Damage, really good. The fire bombs, if you make a normal move over something, they don't get cover. Like, yeah, I suppose it's nice, but who cares? Roll a d6 for each model in the unit. On a 6th, the unit suffers a mortal wound. Again, who cares? It's not reliable damage, really. It's not that much damage, so nobody cares about the bombs. The guns are where it's at. So I just don't think this can stay in the region of 450 points. but it'd be interesting if it managed to stay under 500 points for the. I think there are some mission rules or something. So let's continue on. Galatus. Galatus, it gets -1 to be wounded in combat, and it can shoot and charge in a turn which it fell back. So this rule by itself makes it potentially interesting. So the shooting attack with the Warblade is it's okay. I think this used to be more than D6 shots, but I can't super remember. This I'm surprised it's not Torrent. Maybe it is Torrent. Might be even Torrent and ignores cover. The melee attacks though, we get 8 attacks, which is good. Strength 8, that's okay. -2, flat 3. I think this is actually a pretty good marine killer. Into like Gravis profiles, stuff like that. AP2 is okay. Most stuff that has 3 wounds tends to have good saves again. So the -1 to wound, I think this makes it a good candidate to be a tar pit because it's going to be tough to chew into something that's probably toughness 7, 8, 9, somewhere around that range. With -1 to wound for little guys. I think the alternative is you just don't take a Galatus, you just take a unit of dudes, and the unit of dudes would probably kill the guys that you're trying to tar pit. But against something like GSC, you might not want to actually kill the unit. You might want to just hold the unit there so they can't infinitely come back, something like that. So let's have a look at these little the spear dudes, the ForgeWorld spear dudes. So the Adrosite, this looks fine. This looks just like a regular spear to me. And the Pyrophite, it's melted 2, but it's got a 12-inch range, so you have to get pretty close. It's only strength 9 as well, so this just fulfills like an what would I say, like anti-elite and very light vehicle hunting role, rather than what we really needed from the ForgeWorld entries were killing monsters, killing vehicles, stuff with high toughness. So yeah, we probably wanted something like lethal hits on this to make it interesting, and even then it's probably not that good. Melee, this is the same for these two. This looks like Sagittarius. Oh, so let's look at this gun profile as well. So yeah, 18 range, strength 5, -2, flat 3. This is again a very good marine killer. I want to say this should be assault, but I can't remember seeing the rules. So let's actually have a quick double check. Nah, so we can't see this. It's interesting. I don't think it's probably going to be more expensive than regular, spear guards. I'm not convinced it's better than regular spear guards, and I don't know what the special rules are for that one. Sagittarium, once per battle we can get dev wounds with this. We get sustained hits 1. It's 3 shots. It looks like we lost our kind of our secondary shooting profile. Again, AP1 makes this not as good. Everything getting cover in this edition makes AP1 less exciting for sure. Dev wounds is nice, but only getting it once is a bit sad. We will definitely have to check that these guys get Misericordia. If they don't get Misericordia, I think you can leave them at home if they didn't get Misericordia. If they did get Misericordia, if they are very cheap, in the 45 point range, you could consider having a small unit of these for backfield shooting, I think. But yeah, only having dev wounds once and being AP1, I think is not good enough output in my opinion. Although the range is kind of nice. Fire pikes for the Equil Terminators. Torrent ignore cover. Okay. Again, this is kind of horde clear that I don't think we need. But the interesting thing is because we look like we're moving away from paying for war gear, we just pay for the unit. it's probably not the loadout that you want. You know, we may shift into a horde meta or something, and then maybe this is interesting again. But at the moment, not so much. I think this is a rule not for the Lastrum Stormbolter, but for the unit. So each time a model unit makes a range attack that targets a close eligible, reroll a wound roll of 1. That's nice. On the Lastrum Stormbolter, it's rapid fire 2. It's a lot of shots, but again, AP 1. So does this fulfill that much of an extra roll from the Alaris? And I suspect it's probably going to be more expensive than the Alaris unit because you get kind of better weapons and slightly better guns, in my opinion. So the Adeptus Destructor, this is pretty interesting because it's AP2, it's flat 3, strength 6. Being able to reroll reroll a wind roll of 1. Doesn't seem to matter if it's twin linked actually, because you'd get to reroll everything that's failed. So if you were to take a gun on your Aquilon Terminators, you'd probably take it with this gun because it just seems like the best one. And we're probably going to be priced for the best one anyway. They also get to go back into reserves and deep strike next turn, same as the Alaris. So that seems okay. The Power Gauntlet being strength 8 is a bit sad, actually. So what is this? This is just like a slightly better spear, because spears are strength 7 and this is strength 8. It's a better breakpoint versus T4, I guess. And Power Talon. It's only damage 1, so you could take the Power Talon and the Inferno Storm Fire Pike, and it would be really good horde clear. But I don't think we're in a horde meta at the moment. So there's probably lots of things that I missed. Hopefully I didn't get too much of it wrong. But I think Custodes players have been hungry enough for ForgeWorld data that I think it was worth making a video. Make sure to put in the comments if I missed anything big or if I've made a mistake or you happen to have more information. I think people that watch the video would like to read the comments and see, actually we've got profiles for the Telemon or the Achilles, right? I think there was a battle report that had, you had to kind of reverse engineer what the points were and the toughness and stuff like that. But I think people were kind of pulling that together on the internet. I haven't stayed on top of that at the moment, so unfortunately I don't have that. But hopefully this was interesting. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And the analytics tell me that a lot of you, well, the vast majority of you don't have notifications turned on for the channel. So if you do happen to watch and you do enjoy the content, please do make sure to turn notifications on. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks very much.